Hello, welcome back to the Be Your Own Coach podcast.
Still no jingle.
Still no jingle. It is December.
It is. Mariah Carey has been de-iced. Michael Bublé has appeared from behind his rock.
Have you seen his tour?
He's touring again.
Of course he's touring again, but it's not until next year. And it's places like Scarborough.
Beautiful.
Michael Bublé is going to Scarborough.
There we go.
I never thought that would happen. Put him in Butlins.
Is he coming to Manchester?
No. He might be. He's doing Lytham Festival, is it called? Lytham Festival.
Oh,
Scarborough.
got some big acts there though.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's what I mean. But he's strategically announced it at the start of December for next year. Of course he has,
it's very
because
good.
then he's in the limelight. So then you'll download his Christmas album and start listening. We should put it on in the office today.
I'm a big fan. So
Right, well, that's that sorted.
dear.
Which maybe, look at this segue, ready?
Yeah, go
Which
for it.
maybe leads us into today's topic of planning for next year and starting to think about next year. I know. This is genuine as well. I didn't even think about this.
What a professional.
I know, I'm good. Smooth. Planning for next year, but not waiting until...
Next year.
Yeah. Because if Bublé started promoting his Christmas album in January...
You know what? This is actually really good and it was completely unintentional. So
You're proud
fair
of me?
play. Yeah,
Thanks.
fair play.
So that's what we're talking about.
We are going to talk about this because I think it's really important. I think you do as well. That there is this time of year now, particularly from sort of November onwards, we go leave it till January.
Yeah,
leave it till January. Leave it till
Deflate.
January. Leave it till January. And I think there's so much value in starting to, because then what happens is January hits, you go through Christmas, you go through New Year, and then you sort of go, right, we're back to work. Oh no, I need to set goals. I need to do this. I need to go to the gym. I need to start reading books. I need to learn Spanish and all this other stuff.
Spanish?
Espanol.
Okay.
That was good, right?
Well, my argument and my input on that would be, we all leave stuff till January. You know, we need to set goals. I've said I'll go to the gym. I've said I'll do this. I'll go to every single networking. I'll do some LinkedIn stuff. And then you open your email inbox and every other thing that you have going on also decides to set goals. So that might be, you know, if you have children, it could be, and here's the new timetable for this. And this year, this is what your child will be working on. And you need to buy this and do this. And then...
And your boss comes back from Christmas and he's like, right, we've got this idea. I'm going to do this. And
yeah, so it's also taking into account, we are not just singular here.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many, even if it's the blooming bin schedule for emptying the bins, everything gets changed at the start of the year. And you can only control what's in your remit. So it can become extremely overwhelming come the start of January when everyone's throwing goals and changes because they've all decided new year, new me and all that. So what we're saying is get ahead of the curve.
Yeah. And that doesn't have to be that you are going, right, on Friday before Christmas, I'm going to set goals. It's not that. It's just, it's starting to bring into the consciousness the concept. If you want to set goals for the new year, then start thinking about what actually means something now.
Yeah.
You know, and the cliche one being the gym is a great example where if you decide, right, I'm going to join the gym in January and we're currently at the start of December, well, I guarantee if you walk into that gym on the start of January, it's going to be the hardest point of the year to go into that new environment to try and find the machine because everyone's going to have the same idea. If you go, do you know what? I'm going to start going once a week now, between now and January. You'll get used to the space. You'll get used to where the change rooms are, what car parking, when it's busy, what equipment you like,
but
what
you
you
know
don't
what you
like.
might also find, just sorry to interject with that, is you might also go, right, new year, new me, January, I'm going to go to the gym before work. You might get up at 5:15 every morning and go, this is hell on earth.
Yeah.
Whereas if you start now and you go, right, I'll just try it a few sessions before work. You might do 3 sessions before work and think, do you know what?
I'm an evening trainer.
This isn't working for me, so I'll switch to the evening. Then you'll carry on.
Yeah.
Whereas January, you'll do 4 sessions in the morning, go, absolutely not, sack it off.
Yeah. Again, it's just dipping your toe into whatever it is. And again, if you want to learn Spanish, well, maybe start having a look at where the schools are. Is it going to be an app you're going to use? Is it going to be a person? Is it an online course? Whatever it is, start sort of discovering what they are, because you're going to get not just further ahead, but you're also going to be much more comfortable when it comes to actually fully implementing that goal at 100% come next year. And at the end of the day, you know, if we're in middle of November, start of December, like that's a huge portion of the year still left to go of time that you don't have to give away.
Yeah.
So
do you say middle of November? You do know we are a week into December.
I've been thinking about this since.
Right. Okay. I was thinking I didn't want to bring it up, but we are actually
practice what you preach and all that. And I think that since the start of November, I've been thinking about next year and what it looks like for me, for us, for the business. Like that's all been entering consciousness. And I know we've started to have certain conversations. Just again, we just sort of the snowball has started to roll. So that by the time we get to the Christmas break, we know roughly what we want to set as our goals because we're big goal setters. That's right for us going into next year. And it's not going to be like we need to think about this now and there's not enough time to do it.
Yeah. And I also think with it, the way that Christmas falls this year, a lot of people will be having 2 weeks off because of is New Year's Day on a Thursday this year.
Which, excuse me.
Right? So I think a lot of people will be having, hopefully, if you're listening to this thinking, I absolutely wish, I apologise. But you might be having, an extended break. And I also think some of this blessing is, this is going to sound really cheesy and cringy and quotey, but
excellent.
You can't move forward without taking a bit of time to reflect on what the years look like. Now, if you get to January the 1st, you've had a week and a half off, you feel chilled, you're feeling really good, you're feeling like you've had more celebrations and chocolates than you care to think about, you might be feeling pretty relaxed. That is not the space to then be thinking, well, last year, it doesn't matter. Last year, let's sack that off.
Yeah.
Let's go into the new year. Fair enough. And there might be things you want to leave behind, but I think it has to be done consciously. So I think it's about while you're in it, while you are in December, while you're still in work, while you're still in some form of routine that maybe is just sprinkled with Christmas parties and fighting your way through Manchester markets, while you're still in some form of normality, maybe just starting to ask those questions of, okay, this year, what have I really enjoyed?
Yeah.
And that doesn't have to be Spanish or football or whatever. It could be, I've really enjoyed pushing out of my comfort zone with work. I really enjoyed working on this project. Okay, well, what were the elements of that project? It might be something you're working on now and you're thinking, I'm really invigorated by this.
Yeah.
Then you look at the recipe for that and go, well, how can I do more of this next year? And that's why I think it's important to do it now, because as soon as we switch off and we turn into Christmas turkey land, we can, not everyone, but you can lose the memory and the perspective of what the...
Yeah, because it will feel so far away that the pain, the good and bad, will feel so distant. And I think it's all connected to the fact that come January the 1st, motivation will be at its all-time high across the board. So, again, if you decide, right, I'm going to go to the gym, well, the chances are there's a reason why most, gym memberships end up falling off by the 2nd or 3rd week in January, because motivation's really high, but it's not really something that you necessarily want to do, given the constraints that you might have. So starting now gives you a way to dip your toe in to go, like you said, do I want to get up early and go to the gym? Is it something I enjoy? Do I want to do that Spanish class? Do I want to get in work earlier? Do I want to do whatever it is? And I think as much as we think about adding things in the new year as goals, I think taking away things is equally as good. So when we're looking back at this year and thinking about stuff, what didn't you enjoy this year? So, that might be, you might have signed up for
High Rocks. Sorry, that's just
you signed up for a High Rock?
No, but the concept makes me feel uncomfortable and unwell.
We don't like running, so
yeah, fair enough.
But again, if you've signed up for let's say you've committed to a networking group that you've been going all year and you're like, I just don't want to go to this. Then this is a good time to reset and go, that's not how I want to do it. I want to do something different. So I'm going to drop that off in the new year. Taking away is as much of a goal as adding, basically.
I think you have to start. That's why the reflection piece is so important. There's a high chance, and I always say this, there's a high chance that nobody is sat around twiddling the thumbs, sat on the sofa, not with abundance of spare time. There might be, but there's a lot of people aren't. So then when it comes to January and they start adding stuff, well, where the hell's it coming from?
Yeah.
Because, if the family responsibilities, where is it coming from? The sleep?
Yeah.
Because then when you take away sleep, then how do you feel? So I think it's really important to do exactly what you're saying and go, okay, 2025, what served me well? What can I leave in 2025? And yes, it brings in the construct of what is time. It's only a year, but it's nice to see them as chapters.
It's a block. It's a block. It's a clear block. And no matter what anyone says, they're absolutely right. You can do any stuff at any point in time. But what we can now use is there is going to be a hit of motivation that will arise in January. So it's how we get the momentum rolling before January to then ride the motivation to then basically create that snowball effect. So whatever it is your goal is, this is the perfect time to be thinking about it, starting to enter it so that by February, March next year, you are just cooking on gas.
Yeah. And I'd say, I mean, the two things that have come to mind. The other thing I'd quickly mention is it's also probably a great time now, start of December, to start having the conversations. A lot of people are doing reviews, annual reviews. Have a bit of time, maybe tomorrow night or tonight, and just sit on the sofa and start thinking, right, in my role, if you are looking at career development, instead of thinking, well, what is the next step? Well, it might be management, or it might be, going down this path or that path. Instead of just stepping up, just going, well, 1 second. What do I absolutely love in my role? Is it the people? Is it working with clients? Is it problem solving? What is it I love? Now, does the next step give me more of that? Because a lot of the time when I speak to people, the stuff they love doing, when they get a promotion, that's gone.
Yeah.
And they lose all of that. And it's a different game they're playing. And then we wonder why we didn't like it, because it can often feel like they've got on this career train and it's just being driven for them, and they've been given the opportunities and there's not really been too much thought. And I think this is a great time of year to sit back and go, this year, career-wise and externally and life, but just from a career perspective, what have I really enjoyed? And what has been the pain points? Where have I thought, oh God, I've got to do that again, or I really don't enjoy that? And then maybe having that conversation with a manager in your review, as opposed to how's the year going? Yeah, good. What do you want to achieve next year?
Yeah.
What about? Well, instead of what do I want to achieve, this is what I absolutely love. And it might be that they say, well, we're not going to look at that till next year. Not a problem. But I'm just going to plant some seeds and just start putting that in the ground. Because again, your managers or whoever you're working with is going to be hit with a flood of Januaries.
Yeah, so, they are as well. And, and themselves are going to be going through it as well.
Yeah.
But I think what you mentioned there about career element is really important. And it doesn't have to be, though, whenever you go into a leadership or management position, you tend to lose the reason why you started in the job. Okay, so let's take, I want to try and not use software development because it's so easy and accessible, but I can't think of anything else. Let's take being a nurse, okay? If you entered in nursing, for example, chances are you went into nursing to help people, to work with people, to et cetera, et cetera.
Maybe patient first.
Patient first, basically. Now, the natural evolution, you might become a sister, is that the right phrase?
You're the wrong person to ask.
Matron, ward, whatever. Anyway, so you then progress through the ranks, and then all of a sudden you end up not doing any hands-on care.
Yeah.
And you end up doing management. Okay,
and
so
you're in
that's
the back office sorting the timesheets out.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of that. Same thing in the software development world. Now, one thing that I think I've noticed more and more and more is the people that do really well, the people that enter it, there are some people that just naturally, they do it as a job. And if you know that for yourself, then moving into some roles won't make much of a difference. Basically. But if you entered that industry because of passion, is there a way to keep the passion going while also progressing through the ranks?
Yeah.
So in the software world, for example, I know a number of very senior CTOs, etc., that have progressed through the ranks, but now they also, on the side, they're soldering hardware, they're building little devices, they've got their own little pet projects, and that's their way of keeping some passion going while also achieving career success as they wanted it to be.
So it could also be maybe this is a question, are we also saying, let's say you're in an industry where career success, part of the process is to step up the ladder, and the next rung actually means you don't get to do any of the stuff that you love doing. So then could you potentially then say, well, outside, what does that, if it's creativity, if it's problem solving that I loved in my career, and maybe that's going to be put to the side for this next phase of my career, where can I tick that box outside? And maybe it's pottery classes.
Where can I get it all, basically?
So where, and that can only happen when you look back and go, well, what have I loved? What have I enjoyed? And maybe, and bringing it back to what we're talking about, that idea of not waiting until January to find yourself on the train, going to the next destination, not really being in control, but taking the time now to look at what do I want life to look like? And maybe it's important just to mention, when we say, what do I want to leave behind? Yes, we're talking maybe tasks, jobs, responsibilities, whatever that might be, but also what do I want to leave behind? Maybe it's the pressure you're putting on. We did an episode on time. We've done an episode on managing and focus, things like that. And it could be the expectation to be perfect or to be achieving my task list every day. Maybe that's caused you quite a lot of pressure this year. And if you just remove that pressure you're putting on yourself.
And obviously it's definitely easier to just to say than do, I imagine.
Oh, 100%, but you've got to be aware.
You've got to be aware.
It's got to start with an awareness. So if anyone's sat there thinking, something that I really was aware of a couple of years back was I'd get to the end of the year and I'd be really proud of what I'd achieved and maybe work, maybe projects. But then I sat and really reflected on it. And I thought, well, when I was actually getting ready and building and working on these, I was doing it from a mindset of, oh my God, I hope this is good enough. Oh my God, stress and panic. And every single time the outcome was great and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed let's say a delivery day. I absolutely loved the day. The week before, I was quite stressed. Nothing, nothing horrific, but the stress was for the week and then I enjoyed the day. And then I'd do exactly the same the week after. So maybe in that scenario, you can go, well, why don't I take away putting so much stress on myself when I know full well the outcome, I've got the evidence, is always good. I always enjoy it. Yeah. So what would it feel like going into next year to focus on and try and catch myself when I fall into that, as opposed to just enjoying the process and knowing full well that the process is going to happen. Time will pass, the reward and the ending will come.
Yeah.
So instead of being stressed for the week, why don't I enjoy that for the week? And that can be a goal. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, that can be a goal. I think the difference between that and, say, starting the gym is one is a binary action that happens and doesn't happen. I think with something like that, it's awareness of something that isn't going to change on January the 1st.
Yeah.
It's going to take time, but you're right. There's a starting point to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd add, or argue, maybe just add, yes, but this is why reflection time's so important. So I've said to you, every Friday I'll sit on the sofa and I just look at this week, what went really well? Where am I proud of myself for achieving or for managing something and not getting stressed and actually, heaven forbid, enjoying being a little bit pressured. Yeah, that's the right word. Enjoying that pressure.
And I think that's it. I think one of the goals in them scenarios for people is to reword what it is. So, we use the word stress there. It's not stress, it's pressure.
Yeah.
And if you just say, right, do you know what? When I feel like I'm building up to something big, well, I'm not going to call it stress. I'm going to call it pressure or excitement, and just change the word. And changing the word will then change how it feels.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've segued a little bit off into thinking, but it's about reflection, isn't it? And picking out the
it's a goal as well for next year. So my question then would be how can I set a goal to achieve that? What do I need to do to make sure I achieve that? And it might be something as cliche and as basic as, I'll put a note on my desk with cross out the word stress or whatever it is for you and reframe it to opportunity.
Yeah,
just something as simple as that. That could be the goal for next year.
It doesn't have to be the cliche stuff of to go to the gym,
because that's going to have that one. We talk about 1%. If you're traveling and you move the roadmap 1%, well, by the end of the year, you're in a completely different space.
Yeah, it's huge.
And I think that's why it's really important to look at that now.
Yeah.
Plan the journey so that come January the 1st, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going.
You've got more time rather than just reacting after New Year's Day and panicking. And I think we will do a whole session on goal setting.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
I think that's going to be that might be our next session, to be fair. But I think the point of now where we are today, start of December, reflecting on the year, thinking about what is good, what's bad, what would you like to be different next year?
Yeah.
And making sure that, again, we're not setting the goal right now. We're just sort of thinking about it, letting it enter the consciousness, have the conversation with your partner, your business partner, your whoever.
Well, you've just touched on something there.
Go on.
Have your conversation with your partner, your business partner, whoever. That's really important, because if you are saying to yourself, and this will come up when we're talking about goal setting and whenever we discuss that, if you're setting the goal, again, we'll use the gym, right? I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do every morning, and then I'm going to walk or run every evening, whatever that might be. Okay, but what did you usually do in that time? Well, me and my partner had a coffee in the morning, nice relaxing morning. Okay, well, that's no longer going to be there. And after work, what did you do? Well, I actually made dinner. So we'll just push dinner back, whatever that might be. Well, you need to communicate that, because unless there's clear communication of your goals, yes, it's a fitness goal or it could be a work goal. I'm going to start attending more networking events. Well, where's that taken from?
Yeah.
And there has to be a conversation with the parties involved.
Yeah, people around you to make sure.
Yeah, to make sure.
And I think this is a good time to test that. So again, it's that thing of dip your toe in and go, what's it like to skip that morning coffee, or what's it like to have dinner later on a Tuesday and Thursday?
Does it work?
Does it work? Does it work for my life? Because now you've got time to make an adjustment to figure out, is there a different way I need to do this or handle it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the...
Yeah, and I think it's the time thing, isn't it? It's being able to say, what are my values as a human? What is really important to me as a human? Because sometimes we can get a bit of a shiny object syndrome and think, oh, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that.
Yeah.
And then we go, well, what am I about? Well, I'm about, as an example, it might be kindness, peace, family time, adventure. Okay, well, do the goals that you've set also fulfill your values as a human?
Yeah.
And again, it's not something they need to answer. You need to answer right now. It's having that conversation with whoever it matters to, or with yourself. Of, if you're with a partner and you're thinking, well, we're in this together, we're living together, we've got a unit together, whatever that looks like. Well, if you're both on the same trajectory in life, making sure that everything's in alignment, values wise, and I think that's going to be really important to make sure that you're working towards. And again, it's going to sound a little bit cheesy, but it's something I always say with all my clients that I work with, the person that you want to become. So let's, we're skipping forward a whole year now, but in a year's time, what does that person that you want to become look like? How does she show up? How does she manage stress? How does she move through the world? How does she interact with people? And then most people would say, oh, well, she or he, calm, friendly, positive. Okay, well, what pressures are you putting on yourself? And does that lead to that outcome?
Yeah.
Because if I set myself loads of ridiculous goals,
then you're not going to be calm.
No, I'm going to be
busy and flustered.
Yeah, and overwhelmed and stressed and a nightmare and burning food every evening, trying to get it cooked. But
this is why having the space to sort of consider it, and also consider, is goal setting in January the right thing for you? Because we are prolific goal setters, and the new year is it's a fascinating time for us, because it's the Christmas break is the only time in the year that things truly shut down.
Yeah.
And even that is only a short window. So that gives us the time to reflect and go, right, what should be different into the new year? But equally, you might decide as part of this process that you're quite happy, and there isn't explicit goals to set, and you don't need to get drawn up.
The goal is to continue.
The goal is to continue, and that's just as valid as well. So I think what we're basically saying here is just taking that time between now and the kickoff of Christmas to just enter into the consciousness, what's happened this year, what's good, what's bad, and then sort of start to develop some thoughts on kind of what you want to adapt or do in the new year.
Yeah.
Which I think is really exciting. And again, part of this will come down to, for me, when I think about it, I'm excited about what that means. It's not a dread looking back and I need to set a goal. And if it's that, then it's the wrong thing. The goal's not going to last. So again, get fired up about the stuff that was good this year.
What have you loved? What do you want to do more of?
What's the good stuff? And also, what am I going to take away? And, the excitement of taking something away.
What am I going to leave in 2025?
So, and again, just decide if that is something that you should be doing, if it's good for you, if it serves you, basically. Take the time, reflect.
And it's a choice.
And start to get that snowball rolling.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Awesome. I think as well, because I was thinking about it now, it would be nice when we do the goal setting episode, which, as you say, we definitely will do. I'd like to maybe ask you what some of your goals are. Maybe we need to take a bit of time to.
Yeah, no, I can do that.
To reflect on that. I've just given you homework.
You have given me homework, yeah.
If you could do that, please, I'd appreciate it. I'll be checking in.
I will. That sounds good. And we will see you next week. If you haven't signed up to the Be Your Own Coach newsletter.
Yes. Oh, great
to
plug.
the newsletter, don't we? A little bit
Yeah.
more. Then, you know,
I love writing it. I have a lovely time.
We've been getting some crazy good feedback. So, and even I enjoy reading them and I know what's coming.
The fact that you just said, and even I enjoy reading them, I don't know whether to take that.
Well, it's only because, you know, we might have talked about the topic or whatever, and I know what's coming.
Well, we normally haven't, but you are used to my ramblings and thoughts. So the fact that you actually go out of your own way to read what you're inundated with in your face most mornings anyway.
It is good. So yeah, do get signed up.
Biggest compliment.
If you go to beyourowncoach.com, there'll be a pop-up there and you can enter your email address.
Yeah.
And it's useful coaching tips, interesting anecdotes, and
I think they're funny because I'm a wannabe comedian.
They are funny, to be fair.
Well, I think they are. And as long as I find myself funny, that's all that matters in life.
That is all that matters. So go there, get signed up.
Give me the feedback.
Give you the feedback, and we will see you next week for the goal setting.
Goal setting.
See you next week.
See you next week.